These are the brand new Sony WF-1000XM6s, and I've had a very weird and wonderful week reviewing them. I've got a lot of opinions, and my first opinion is on the active noise cancelling. Now, I don't know what Sony have done here, but they just feel so natural in comparison to other ANC earphones that I've tested. I don't get that stuck underwater feeling. I don't feel like my ears are being pumped full of fake white noise. They've got a very natural quiet to them, which I really appreciate. I tried them in plenty of different scenarios. It easily tackles noises from, say, my heating unit in the studio, for example. Even making a coffee, it blocked out most of the noise from the steamer. The only time the XM6s have genuinely struggled to give me that total full immersion was when I went running alongside a busy road. It was letting a little bit of sound in then, but overall I think that it's fair to say that the XM6s have got some of, if not the best ANC that I've ever tried on truly wireless earbuds. The active noise cancellation is definitely helped by these brand new ear tips. Now, appreciate it's definitely a personal preference thing, but I personally think memory foam ear tips are way better than the standard rubber ones you tend to get with other truly wireless earbuds. They're way more comfortable, and not only that, they actually genuinely conform to the shape of your ear, helping with passive noise cancellation as well. So not only are you getting superior active noise cancellation, you're also getting pretty decent passive noise cancellation as well. These major changes have helped bring the total noise level blocked up to around 67 decibels compared to the XM5s, which are around 61.5 decibels. In addition to all this, we've now got even more microphones on the XM6s. The XM6s have got 8 microphones, whilst the XM5s only had 6. And in addition to this, we've got a completely new form factor and fit, which Sony claim are going to fit more people's ears. We've also got the brand new QN3E processor and drivers, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on. In general, there's a lot of updates here, and as there should be, as we had to wait a fair while for these to come. But one more thing that's really helped the ANC is the software. This adaptive noise cancelling inside the app is certainly interesting, to say the least, but I've also got some pretty bad things to say about the app and the software, which we'll touch on later. First though, sound quality. I mean, can I let you have a listen? I'm just kidding. Now, arguably, this is the most important part when reviewing any wireless earphones, and I've got to say that in the past, with the likes of the XM3s, I've always felt that Sony produced this very warm, fluffy, consumer bass-boosted sound that a lot of people have become very accustomed to, but I didn't really like it all that much. Now, my NW08s, which have been my daily drivers for a couple of years now, have been an absolute champion for this. They have a very neutral, crisp sound, but when it comes to the XM6s, I mean, I think Sony have outdone themselves again, because this year we've got this very sharp, clear and neutral bass line, which I think serves a lot of different music genres a little bit better and serves as a better foundation for going off and tweaking settings to suit your style. So overall, the audio quality for me has vastly improved from what I've seen from Sony in the past. They also seem to be plenty loud enough in my opinion, but if I've learned anything from reviewing tech is that a lot of you will probably find these too quiet, but I think they're just about right. But that brings me nicely onto sound leakage. Now, because of the form factor and these sort of conforming to the shape of your ear a little bit better than previous generations of the earphone, there is very little to no sound leakage, even at max volumes. You really do have to listen quietly. There is a tiny bit, but I don't think it's actually going to cause anyone any bother when you're out in public. So I think Sony have done a really good job in that respect. In a nutshell, I think the XM6s offer a really good neutral sound that a lot of people are actually going to like. And of course, if you do like to fiddle with things, the app has got loads of equalizer presets that you can play with, and even 2 custom ones just for you. So if you don't like the sound out the box, you have got options there. Now, Sony this year have made some massive claims about bone conduction technology and AI noise suppression that allegedly will help isolate your voice from the chaos of the outside world. Marketing is one thing, but reality is another. So let's see how they actually fare. So we're going to check out in a little bit how they sound outside, but I think first it's really important to test it in a normal sort of home environment. I'm in my studio at the moment. I don't actually have particularly great noise suppression in here, and I have got the heater going full blast. Also, the walls are extremely thin and there's a lot going on outside at the moment. So you guys let me know in the comment section what you think of the audio quality of the microphones of the XM6s. It'd be good to get your opinion. But next, we're going to go and try these outside in a slightly noisier environment. Before we go outside, let's just talk about that for a second. Now, look, I don't think you're going to be wanting to start a YouTube channel using the XM6's microphone as your main microphone anytime soon. But although I'll admit I sound a little bit robotic still, I think we've taken huge strides forward in truly wireless earbud microphone technology. I think that my voice has now got a little bit of depth to it, which was definitely missing on previous generations of the earphone and any other truly wireless earphones, to be honest. So there's definitely an improvement when you are in a, I suppose, normal home environment. But now let's go ahead and check them outside and see how it actually fares when next to, say, a road, for example. Okay, so I'm both blessed and cursed to live right next to a rather busy road. So you guys let me know in the comment section what you think of the Sony WF-1000XM6s when you're outside in a more noisy environment. Look, again, I think obviously there's still some robotics going on with my voice, but the AI noise suppression is so strong that it really is cancelling out most of the sounds around me, and you can hear my voice clearly. I think we're still a fair way from crystal clear call quality on truly wireless earphones, but again, it definitely seems like a step in the right direction for me. Let's move on and keep things positive for now and focus on the fit and comfort. When you're spending upwards of £250, $300 on a pair of truly wireless earphones, in my opinion, you kind of want them to serve all purposes. So I did what any man would and took them for an 8K trail run with me. It was incredibly windy, and although it does look like a sunny day, it was in fact raining on and off too. So I gotta say that I was actually pleasantly surprised with these. The earphones were just firmly planted in my ears the whole way around. They honestly did not budge. And I also noticed that I wasn't instinctively going to push them into my ears all the time. They really were locked in there. So honestly, in my opinion, it's 10 out of 10 for fit, and comfort wise, we're definitely not far behind. I think they felt a little bit bulky and heavy at times, but definitely comfortable. And again, I was mostly trail running, so in terms of these not just falling out your ears, I genuinely could not be happier. As I just mentioned rain, we should probably talk about the waterproofing on the XM6s as well. And annoyingly, Sony are actually a little bit vague on their website as to how waterproof these earbuds actually are. Now, they are IPX4 rated, which means they can technically resist a bit of sweat and rain, but can't take them out in heavy rain. And Sony just says on their website, fine for sudden showers. I mean, what is a sudden shower? How heavy is a shower? In theory, and don't take my word for this because I don't want you to break your earphones, I think they would be fine in heavy rain if you did get caught short, but there's definitely a bit of vagueness surrounding the waterproofing of these earbuds, so definitely something to bear in mind. The bright side to all this is when I got caught in some light rain, my earbuds were absolutely fine and they held up perfectly. The only thing to bear in mind is that the case is not waterproof, so you might want to consider leaving this at home if you do go outside for a run. Now, I know that I've spent a good while talking about the fit and comfort, but I do just want to quickly speed through a bit more of the design section, because there's one thing that I found a bit odd, and that is that on Sony's website, these are classed as platinum white. And I don't know if it's my eyes, but these are definitely not white. They have a more, I guess, sandstone-y color to them, a very slight off-white, warmer sort of grey colour, but they definitely don't look like the marketing images. That all being said, I much prefer how they look in real life as opposed to in the marketing images, so in my opinion, they actually look better in the real world. Now, I do feel that the earbuds are getting all the attention here, so I do want to just touch on the case because quite a few things have changed here, and I do actually quite like it. There's no NFC on it this year, but you do have an easy pairing button at the base there. It's simple, efficient, and I do rather like the minimalist design. However, and it's a picky comment, I know, it just feels a little bit cheap. The other thing I noticed as well is that you don't get a carry pouch included, which you do tend to get with other premium earphones. Anyway, looks and materials aside, the case is going to keep your earphones charged for up to 24 hours in total, and a quick 5-minute charge will give your earphones up to an hour of playback time, which is seriously impressive. You also have 2 different charging options. You can charge via USB-C, or you can use the QI charging if you're that way inclined. Battery life of the XM6s after almost 2 weeks now of testing has been genuinely impressive. And rather than just counting up the hours, I'll simply say that they've never failed to get me through a whole day, which is all I need. The only thing that I would say about Sony's earphones, and specifically the XM6s, is that Sony are pretty well known for having battery degradation issues. So I think to really give a true, genuine answer on the battery life and health of the XM6s, I'm going to have to revisit these in the next 12 months or so. It was, in fact, what actually killed my Sony XM3s several years back. So definitely make sure you subscribe for my long-term review on the XM6s. There's a lot of things to love about the XM6s, but there are a few things that I absolutely hate. No, hate is a very strong word, but still, first is the app. Whilst I don't hate the app so much, I do find the battery life indicator to be a little bit annoying and inconsistent. A few times now, it's only shown the battery for one of my earphones, so I have to put them back in the case and take them back out again to check on the battery life. Second, really annoying and kind of silly feature, in my opinion, is the voice cue. Now, if you don't turn this feature off, every single hour that you're listening to these earphones, you'll get a silly little chime, and Sony will tell you in a very robotic voice what time it is. We don't need that, Sony. My third minor gripe is, although I do appreciate a lot of the features in the app, it's just the general clutter. I think when I'm spending £250, $300 on a pair of earphones, I just don't want to be faffing around too much with all of these different settings, and I certainly don't want ads in an app. I did mention there's some features that can make me look past all of this though, and first and most important, in my opinion, is the ability to connect to two devices simultaneously and have it auto switch based off what you're actually playing. So for example, I can connect these to both my MacBook and my S25 Ultra at the same time. If I go to play a video on my MacBook, it will pause the music on my S25 Ultra, and when I go and pause the video again, it'll then start playing the music on my S25 Ultra. It is really genuinely quite clever and very, very convenient. The other feature, which I have to admit I did write off as a gimmick when I first started playing with it, is the scenes feature. Now, what this feature lets you do is double tap on your right earphone and it'll start a running playlist, for example, when you start running. I think this is actually genuinely really convenient. It saves you from having to faff around on your phone before you start your run. So yeah, a nice little quality of life feature there. Now, we just spoke about double tapping, and I've just reminded myself that I haven't actually touched on the onboard controls on the XM6s. They are touch controls, and in my opinion, they're actually quite intuitive. There's a lot you can do and they're very easy to use on the fly. The only thing that I'd say is, on the very rare occasion you might want to push the earphones in to get a better fit, it is very easy to accidentally set off one of the controls, but that is a very minor gripe. Overall, I actually think they're pretty good. The other thing you can now access via the touch controls on the earbuds is Google's Gemini, which I'm so happy to now have integrated into everything. The old Google Assistant, I mean, it was getting borderline criminal just how bad it got. Now, with the touch of a button, you can actually have a live chat with Google Gemini, and you can control things in your smart home with confidence that you couldn't do on the old Google Assistant because it had got so bad. So with all that in mind, should you buy the Sony WF-1000XM6s? Well, after a little over a week with them, genuinely impressed. There's not many areas where they fall short. The sound quality is excellent, the ANC is market leading, and the build of the actual earbuds is genuinely impressive. They fall short a little bit when it comes to the case, and the app is a little bit overcluttered in my opinion, and there are earphones on the market with much better battery life. Overall though, what Sony are offering is a very versatile pair of earphones that can be used anywhere and reliably. The only question mark for me is, has Sony fixed the battery degradation issues of the past? And the only real way to find out is waiting 12 months and seeing how they're doing. Huge leaps have been made in the right direction with the XM6s though, but if you want a little bit of nostalgia, check out my video comparing the XM3s to the XM6s to see how far we've really come. See you in the next one.